All right. So allow me to do recording muna. Okay. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, programmers. Welcome to our session today. So what's up, Mananap? So, all right. Our topics for today would be everything about GUI. Now that we have already discussed about the four pillars of OOP, I mean only three, no, principles of OOP. We have encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Um, I just hope you are able to inculcate its principles within yourselves. No? So um, I just hope you're able to also at least grasp some of it. I'm not saying that you will have to really master the idea of OOP, but at least you have, you know, put it in your system now as part of your as part of you, no, when you are going to develop a program or a project or a software in the future. Okay, so these concepts are very important for you to get along with advanced, no, what they call this one, advanced topics, particularly in the next coming years. Now, in order for you to appreciate more things about the ideas of um, OOP, we're going to discuss graphical user interface. Now, in GUI, I know it's as exciting as creating. I mean, it's really exciting to develop a UI, especially when it comes with an easy manner, like you do it in a drag and drop way. So you can just draw the UI or drag some of the components in your user interface, and then that's it. No, and then behind the codes are things that we often or most probably underrated. Kumbaga, we tend to not understand the idea of those what's inside of those, fully in the because when you do UI, when you do drag and drop in, especially in Java, things are gonna be generated automatically. So meaning to say the system will generate for you. All the codes will be given to you. And what you will need to do is you'll just have to have a proper logic. You'll just have to invoke a a logical statements to it. Or shall we say a business logic to it? And that's what we call. That's actually what we where abstraction stands for. No, so we focus on the how rather than the what. So, but now before I'll introduce you that the drag and drop way manner in Java, we'll have to start or go through with the scratch. No, we're going to develop UI from scratch in such a way that you will understand what are the things or what are the components needed to develop a UI in Java, and also being able to understand the idea of uh, or the principles of OOP, because that's the only thing I believe. So you will really understand and grasp really the idea of, as I said, no, object-oriented principles. Okay, so now let's go ahead back to. Let's go ahead onto our Eclipse IDE. So when you want to, create, or when you want in NetBeans or in any other, let's say, I don't think so if JCreator has this, but in NetBeans, the window builder is actually automatically installed. Meaning to say, once you install NetBeans, it's there already. All you just need to do is use it. But in Eclipse, it's not part of its component, and it's actually somewhere in somewhere from the marketplace, and you will need to set it up. So in order for you to set up that one, allow me to ano muna this one be. Ayan. Oops. What happened? Okay, so you just have to go to marketplace, and type in the find. Uh, by the way, when you want to install some components and plugins in Eclipse, here you can see some in the marketplace. Okay, and like for web, for JDK 18 support, and any other things. But what we are going to search from here will be window builder, because the idea of drag and drop is actually from window builder. It's not a company, but it's a window builder organization. It means there's somebody behind it in order for us to develop UI in an easier manner. So you just have to search and then click install. So yeah, once you install this window builder thing, and then you can now start creating, doing drag and drop UI in Eclipse. Okay, so we'll get back to this one in the future, but for now, let's skip for this. Okay, so right here, uh, we shall get started. So right here, we are going to develop, or we're going to create a class, and let's say this is we're going to name it sample GUI, right? So that's it. Okay, so again, the component where we can actually see the components, rather, where we can actually see the UI components in Java are in out, which is abstract window toolkit. That was the tradition, parang primitive components. It means mga karaan to siya, yung those that are in AWT, or abstract window toolkit. But for now, we have swing components, and the other one, there's an advanced, which is required knowledge in OOP. So we're not gonna be touching that way, which is the other. It's another ano yan for creating UI in Java. But this time we're going to focus on the swing components. So again, it's actually from swing components. So import javax dot swing, ayan. And then under swing component, you will see here all the components of UI to in making or designing a window or graphical user interface. So part of which is, of course, the most used JOption pane that we've been using, rather, for several times. So we have JLabel, JButton, JFrame, JTextField, and so on and so forth. So if you're going to use each one of them, then you might as well, you're going to have imported them in your let's say, for an instance, the same way with what we did in JOptionPane. If you're going to be using JOptionPane, then we have to import JOptionPane. So if, let's say, for an instance, we're going to use a JFrame, and then we'll just have to do like this. But if you're going to use all of them without declaring individually, then you'll just have to do this one. All right. So that's it. Now, the very basic UI in a JFrame, in Java, is, of course, JFrame. Now, that's the window. This is where you actually, it's like your home, where you can actually add some uh, components like tables, frames, chairs, sofa, sala set, or whatsoever, things like that. Those are the things that we can add up to our home. No, uh, let's imagine the JFrame as a home, and we can put anything in there. And then the same way happens here. JFrame is a window wherein you can add up some to make it look great, no? And what they call this one, uh, putting up some components para maging ano siya, enticing to human eyes, and probably ang transitions niya, and also the way user interact with the system. Okay, so now we're going to create a window first by or through by way of Jframe or through Jframe. So I'm gonna be teaching you two ways on how to create Jframe. So first is the idea of declaring Jframe as a normal component. So we'll start with creating or defining a Jframe. So Jframe, let's say my frame, okay, and then we're going to create a constructor here. So although you don't have to really do constructor, or I mean, uh, when we do UI or whatever, no, in Java, it doesn't always follow that you will have to do it in a what they call this one, in a constructor. But for now, we're going to do it here. So let's say we're going to have my frame is equal to new JFrame. So there, as you can see, one of the things that we have been doing was to create constructors in our encapsulated class. And as you can see, we have here the different constructors of JFrame. So it's like JFrame, and then we have this one is default constructors. We have also JFrame graphics configuration as a parameter, and we have also a JFrame here, which says there is a parameter which you are able to set a title, and both both are being passed to another JFrame. So more or less, we have four constructors in JFrame. So meaning to say, a JFrame is an encapsulated class, and it's created in order for us to develop a window, or shall we say a UI in Java. So without the principle number one, without the idea of encapsulation, we cannot develop UI as easy as this. So yeah, no. Also with the thing here, if you can recall, we have tried doing it or making this one in our encapsulated class, where we actually declared a Java doc comment. So everything that you see from here are called the documentation. It's important for every encapsulated class to explain something and give a description to for the user to at least see whatever is uh, going to whatever that component will do. Okay, so at least they have a an idea. Even without internet, they can still look at the documentation. Okay, so you will see here title. So title to be displayed in the frames border, and all you just need to do is understand them. So when you are able to understand them, then therefore it would be easier to do some innovation and something like kanang kamo na mag ano ba nag mag how do I say this one, but it's like it depends on your trip, as long as you're able to follow the syntax. Okay, as long as it will not interchange, like you will have the graphics configuration first before the title. Okay, so yeah, that's it. There are constructors here. So when it is created, if you will allow me to like create the JFrame, it says that it means that, I mean, when a JFrame is created, it's something like this one, no? Public class JFrame, and yeah, so it has its let's say probably it has its title, private string title, something like that. Okay, and then After which, you have here something like a Jframe, yeah, and then how probably title, let's say NA or something, yeah, like that, and then have here. So I'm not saying this is how they uh, made Jframe, but based on the documentation, it seems like it is like this, no? But of course, there are some there are some procedures written inside of a JFrame, so that's why that's what we focus on the how rather than what when we do encapsulation, which is in abstraction, which is the implementation of encapsulation. So title. So it means yes, this one, no, this that title, but it's not as easy as that. Of course, there are other things that they wrote for JFrame because it's going to create a UI. It means it's going to create a window. It's not enough to have only like this. Okay, whatever inside of it, it's not our major concern. Okay, so as long as it has this like this, no try title, because based on what we have seen, it means that we can actually set a title. So it's now conflicting the JFrame with what the JFrame class that we created. Ayan. So, and with the JFrame inside of a swing component. So by the way, you can do like this because this one is what we call nested classes. No, you're actually uh, creating a class within a class. But when we get to erase this one, so let's name na lang this one JFrame 2. This is our own version of JFrame para dili siya mag-conflict with this one. So whenever you see JFrame here, okay, you can see here, wait, yan. So we have graphics configuration, string title. Uh, this is what we have created in our own version of JFrame, which is JFrame 2. Yan, this one. So that's how it is actually done, right? So and that I mean that could be probably no in ana siya gibuhat. Now let's go ahead on to our JFrame. So let's say we have here yan. So we can even create a JFrame without the parameter without parameter being given to it. So or you can even set the title for your JFrame. So this is my JFrame, or this is my JFrame. Ayan. Okay. So it means you're setting this is my JFrame. It means you're creating a window with the title this is my frame. So this will be something displayed like this one. OOP 25566B source sample GUI. So now let's proceed with uh, creating now an object. So we have now the object of frame. This is the object now, an instance that we use for setting a property. So when you create a UI in Java, the first thing that you will need to do is of course frame. The next is you will have to set properties to it. So what are the properties? Remember, every class that we created, there are properties. So like for an instance, katong sa water tank nato, there are data field properties or components, and there are behavior properties or the functions. So this time, we don't have any access to data field or properties of a JFrame. Only the behavior. Okay? So meaning to say, it's like water tank that I cannot access the capacity data field na component or the water level na data field component. The only way for me to access it is through its behavior, not through its function, which is katong add water or fill water and remove water only. So the same as true here in JFrame. So let's say we're going to do set. So yeah, the same with what we did in employee, in person, in student. Each of the idea of the setter property and getter property of every class in Java is there. No? So as you can see here, you have here listed different setters. So yeah, we have set always on top, set auto request, set bounds, set component, set cursor, everything, no? Set, even set title. So we can you have here set title, ayan, set visible. So everything is it's like the same with what we did in the person or employee class. And we created setters. So Jframe has also created setters. So it means to say that when we do something like set title, and when I say set title, let's say I have here say pet management system. So it means to say that we created a frame with the title pet management system overlapping or replacing this is my frame. So if I'm going to go back to my JFrame 2, it means that I have the title there. It means that I have here public void set title. Remember, di ba, set title. Yan, title. Okay, and it's something like this and like this. So this is probably uh, what how JFrame created the set title equivalent to this one. So whenever we change this to frame 2, ayan, and then let's say this is JFrame 2. So it's like that. So see, we have just created our own version of JFrame. Don't confuse yourself. Again, this JFrame 2 is we're trying to emulate the JFrame of swing component. This one. I'm just giving you parang idea on where encapsulation is actually positioned. Parang the idea there is we tried to emulate JFrame as what it is, and the by way of making it na masabtan is I just created JFrame to emulate JFrame. So in order for you to understand that this class in this JFrame nag-encapsulate under swing components is somewhat like this. Okay? Now, I just hope you're able to understand. So I'm gonna erase this one. So that is how probably uh, the why encapsulation is important in principle as a principle number 1 in OOP. All right, so now let's uh, comment this one out and let's focus on the creating a window. So this time we're going to call some of the most important setter property of a window or creating a UI, which is the width and the height. So most probably, we have here the height and the width. What's with the I? So it says that also the JFrame has public void set size and then int width, int height. Okay. So if we go back to balik sa ako kadiyo. If we go back to here, it means that one more na lang para mas masabtan. Public void set size. And yeah. And you have int width, int height. Probably this is what how the JFrame created set size. And of course, it has to uh, declare private property of like width and uh, and height. Okay. in order for you to set, so this dot width is equal to width. Okay. And this dot height is equal to height. Ayan. So probably it's like that. So I'm just going to comment this one out na lang para dili mawala. Okay. There you are. So is there any questions before I'll proceed? Guys, do you have any questions so far?
Sir, ang kanang method, sir, pwede ba na mabutang sa ubang class?
What do you mean pwede mabutang?
Para sa atong gibuhat atong na face to face sa sir ba, na duha ka class bali nagimo siya bago na pud class so ito gibutang ang method.
Oo. Yeah, pwede. We can actually do that later. Okay, so now, final na ni. We're going to focus now on creating a window. I'm not gonna be comparing to Jframe and the frame that we have created. So just be be what they call this one, in layman's term, kumbaga, please do understand sa ako ang ano ganina that we tried to emulate Jframe on how encapsulation brought this component. No, so kung unsa siya ka importante nganong and the idea here is to appreciate more of the encapsulation and more of OOP principles. Okay? So we are actually mao to akong gusto masabtan niyo dito, no, the idea of OOP principles. So principle number 1, encapsulation. Yan. So let's start with the my frame that set size. Yan. So you have here set size. There are two, di ba? Set size dimension D and set size width and height. It means these are method overloading. Okay? Two uh, uh, two the same name, the same class methods with two different behaviors or distinct behaviors. The other one is dimension, only one parameter, but it's in dimension. But the other one is width and height. So the width is the how much width, no? Kumbaga pila unsa siya kalapad, and then the height is unsa siya kataas. Okay? So this is polymorphic, no? Method. So meaning Jframe is also a polymorphic class. It means that it can it is that concept is actually polymorphism. Okay, that's one of the uh, polymorphism behavior or property. So method overloading. In fact, dito pa lang sa pag-create nimo constructor na natoy polymorphism, no, without parameter or with parameter. So now, what happened with why it's like, okay, so let's have here 500. By the way, this is in pixel. So let's say we're going to create a frame with 500 by 700 pixels, width and height respectively. Then we're going to make it so visible. So visible means it's true. Okay, I mean visible means it has a Boolean parameter. Whenever you pass through, it means the frame will display to your screen. If it's false, then it means it's it doesn't show. Okay, so in order for us to display this frame we have here, we can just call it directly here, no, sample GUI. Okay, or something like sample GUI, let's say, yeah, GUI is equal to new sample GUI. So you can have like this, either this one or this one. But of course, this one is a little bit understandable, no? This one is okay naman. It's like you don't create an object, you just call directly the constructor. So with this one, when we try to, run our program, this would display, or this would create ayan, a UI component JFrame, which it means that we have a, what they call this one, we have a 500 by 700 pixels. All right. So yeah. Question. You have questions? Now, if we're going to do like this, it means we can, it still works the same. Even if we create another class, let's say we have here test GUI, and we're going to put the public static void main there. So let's remove this public static void main, and let's put it here in the test UI, thing like that. Okay. Of course, when you do something like this, no, let's try. Okay, you can still, it still works. Okay, and with this one, it still works. Ayan. So whatever we did in the UI, or we do in the sample GUI, can be called directly in the test GUI. So this is actually, yeah, this is a, it depends on you, no, or to you, if either you have the main here, or you're going to have your main in the other class. Anyway, you're good at it already. So now let's uh let's have another. So this time, if you can recall, Natay, this is my frame. Now if I'm going to, uh uncomment this set title, when I run this one, it will have pet management system instead. So this means that this is replaced now, but by pet management in system. So meaning this one is now being replaced by this one. So nawala na ni siya, and it's changed to pet management system. So you can have like that. Okay? Or if you don't want to call set title, you just have to do this one. Ayan. Okay? So that's it. These are the basic components of UI. So let's add some more. Let's say we want to position. So kung mapansin niyo, ang ato ang JFrame, it's automatically positioned the the west, part of our window. So we can actually set this to like my frame, that set location relative to null. So it means the position will be, uh, it doesn't position to west, north, or east or south, but rather at the center. Okay, so whenever we run this one, this will be automatically position itself to at the center of your screen. Yeah. So then, one more thing about JFrame is it has this set default close operation. This set default close operation is a operation that will allow how the JFrame will react based on its kumbaga sa iyahang icons, katong minimize, maximize, and close. So we have here the do nothing on close, we have hide on close, dispose on close, exit on close. So these operations are underrated. Kumbaga, most likely dili na ni ginaano sa kaayo sa mga programmers, pero I would recommend you, whenever you have a JFrame, please include this one. So set default close operation. So it has 0, 1, 2, and 3. Ayan. So 0 to 3 lang siya. If you don't want to use the integer equivalent of that because naka-enumeration siya, you just have to use Jframe. Let's say you have do nothing on close. So si do nothing on close kay according sa iyaha is unsa siya. Do nothing on close is 1, I guess. Wait, or 0. Yeah, 0. So its equivalent is 0. So siya ang 0. So meaning to say, when we run this one, it will do nothing on close. Whenever we close this JFrame, no matter how many times we close this one, we close our doors to someone else, it doesn't react. Okay? Delete siya. Yan. So the only way for you to, close that one is stop. Okay? Stop the Okay, yan daghan kay running kay wala tay default close operations. Kani siya nagkadaghan ni sa imong memory kani tanan sa RAM. Luoy kay imong RAM ani. Okay, hinay pa imong unit napay daghan sa RAM nagdagan. So mo nang problem sa without set default close operation. So if ever na you want to replace it with integer value, you just have to put 0 there. So yeah, 0. And again, going back here, the only way to close it is by like that. Okay, so let's have another one. 1. So the 1 is, I guess, exit on close. So let's have my frame that exit on close. So exit on close is a 3. You have hide on close. Hide on close is 1. So it means it's not going to close the program or the UI, but it's going to only hide. So magtago lang siya. Okay? So that's 1. Ayan. So ayan na siya diri. Itago lang imuhang UI ay imuhang ah, frame. Okay? So pwede pa to nimo matawag og balik. So nitago lang to siya, no? So that's hide on close, and that's the equivalent value for that is 1. Makita naman na ninyo. So let's say my frame is exit on close. That is 3. So if you're going to use exit on close, if we're going to run this one, this will safely exit or terminate the program. So however, yan. Bakit may however? However, exit on close, if you try to check on it, the exit on close is it will not free up some space or memory of your, I believe so, no? Because this will only exit the UI. So the other one is dispose and close. So this is better, and uh, this is what I would recommend from you. So this is the equivalent value for this one is 2. So dispose and close. This means that it is going to free up the memory of your computer. It means whatever residuals stored in your memory will be eliminated, or it's like evaporated rather. So mawala to tanan. It's like flash, no? Close difference between close and flash in uh, text files. Okay, so I would rather uh, recommend you doing or declaring this set default close operation dispose on close, or shall we say 2, or equivalent value of that. Okay, more than that, more than 3, it's not going to work anymore. Okay, so yeah, we can also like there are actually a lot of setters here. So one of which is the set undecorated value. So if this is set to true, if you're going to run this program, it will eliminate the icons of your JFrame, and end user has nothing to click on. So it's no longer like it cannot be minimized, it cannot be maximized, or it cannot be closed. Yeah, so that's it for some of the components. Okay, and now what about we're going to put background on our UI component, so we can also do that. Okay, but okay, let's say we're going to do set background color. So set background color, let's say it says that you will need to have color. So color is under abstract window toolkit. So you'll have to call its constructor. Ayan. And then let's have here the uh, let's have here, okay, the RGB alpha. Okay, so you can you cannot have like color that red something. So it's dati pwede nimo na siya buhaton, but for now it requires you to have a RGB, red, green, and blue, no? So RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and the value is 255. It means that when you want your frame to have 255 of red, meaning mo na ng full red. So that's the max value for RGB. So it's a red. So it means to say that your frame will be red. So kung nakita ninyo na ay murag ni flash or na ay makita mo na red, but uh, what what is the, I mean, what it does say is that kani siya is ang frame man god is it has panel above on it. So instead of makita nato ang color niya directly, ang color niya is nasa likod. So murag nasa likod niya ang ano, murag gimantilan siya ba, murag na siya mantel ana lang. So kung nakafamiliar mo ng mantel table, mas matag mantel, ang color sa inyong table na dito sa ilalom, pero ang mantel kung sa to color mao na to ang dapat tong makita. So it's like natabunan siya. So putting set background to your frame directly will not be seen as kung unsa iyang background. So what we can do is we'll need to get the content pane. So kanang content pane mao na siyang imuhang koloran. So set background. Ayan. So, oops, this is a method. So this is what we call method chaining. You chain the method by calling the content pane and setting background to that content pane. So, mo na ang makoloran into. So, yan. So, as you can see, you have here the red. So, uh, yeah, that's the primary colors, red, green, and blue. So, again, if you make it 0 and then you want to make it like full on green, so this will give you green color. Ayan. So of course you can combine the colors. Okay? So you can combine 255 of green and 255 of red. So this is like yellow, red and green. When you mix these colors, you will come up with yellow. Okay? So pwede rin siya a little bit of one red and let's say 100 of green. Okay, so this will give you and I don't know what is this, but it's like brown, or I don't know much of the colors kung unsa to siya, but it's like your, you can also have blue. So you combine red, green, and blue with that. So this one is like brown na jud. Okay, so that's it. You can just have any color or any values to it as long as it will not be more than 255. So you can also have, or you can also put here a transparency or like translucency of your frame by having, let's say, a percentage of up to 100. So 0 to 100% yan siya. So 100. So example, I will have red, but I don't want it na too solid na red. I will have it na medyo something na siya transparency. So I guess That's understandable. Kung napansin ninyo, this becomes ano na, no? Dili na kay siya too red because although full red siya, but you have here a translucency. So kung gusto ka na medyo dili kay siya in ato ka light, so yan. So pwede until if butang nimo siya to let's say 0 or 10, of course this will give you ayan, ang iyang translucency na wala na iyang pagka red. So yeah, that's it when you add up alpha. So pwede ninyo na i-combine 255, let's say 150, and then 50 of blue. You have this color. Okay? Ayan. So, yeah, that's it. Okay? So, kamo na bahala sa mga colors or mag-combine og mga colors. Kani kay red and blue will give you, ayan, sa man pink. Ayan. All right. So, any questions so far? Do you have question, guys?
Dili mo na pwede balik karon ng code sunod kay hindi mo gana
Dili baliktaron
ang code.
what do you mean baliktaron ang code?
Nang I mean kanang ay hindi na ko ma-specify.
Like mauna si kani kaysa kay set size?
O ana.
Dili. Pwede siya basta ayaw lang ni unaha. Ay, ayaw lang ni ulahi Kay instantiation man eh. Mag-error man na kung mauna ni siya before ka mag set size. For me, thank you for that question. No, I haven't tried it, but ako technically speaking, nauna siya og call ang set size but never ka nag I guess mag null exception ni siya. Yeah, tama. Null pointer exception. Kasi every time you use kasi sa Java is strict siya na dapat na declare or na instantiate sa nimo ang object before ka makagamit. But I guess with this one kaning mga set location kung mauna man siya this will work still. Only that if I were you unaha lang ni ulahia lang jud ninyo ni na part kaning set visible or ano. So na times na naman guni siya hierarchy kung sa dapat ang mauna. Like I don't know if this will try na to. Haven't tried it but still it works because there are other OS kasi na dili siya mugana especially sa Windows I guess. Basta na part na excuse me, there are part na if there are part na wait lang ha kay medyo nag-crack. There are part na if ma-interchange nimo na sila ang iyang sequence kay mura siya mag loops and tan-awon lang na nimo ang line kung sa iyang giingon so imo lang siyang i-replace with or something like interchange. So na inana na part. I guess ma-encounter na ninyo but I'm not really certain of kung unsa to siya na component. So naman goy na inana, na times na moabot yun na sa inyong one. Then maglisod na mo unsa may error ani nga wala may syntax error. But it's the idea of katong sa hierarchy which one comes first before so or after. A good question. But again, unaha jog instantiate before these things here and if I were you ulahian ninyo ni siya na part. Okay? But
Okay, sir, nag
okay, sige. Do you have any questions, guys? Sige, I'll give you more time. Sige, we'll go back at 9.
Ay sir,
Ah,
okay question sir.
yes, yes.
Kanang curious lang sir ba, pwede ba picture ang imutang as background?
Pwede, no? Pwede. So, kung magbutang kag picture as background to your Jframe, you cannot directly put set background here na background. So exang itatag background pictures. You will need to have another unlike sa ano kasi set frame dot set background. So kung i-check na tong set background ha, this is ang iyahang iyahang what they call this one, color lang, no? Walay picture or anything or something like that. So kana maghimo ka og method nimo na sarili, but there is an easier way to do that kasi graphics naman good na siya. But the easiest way to do that is through creating label. Then sa JLabel ka magbutang og background. Sige, try na ako ha. Let's say LBL image. Okay, although dili ni siya karon part unta, pero sige ako na lang i-try. Go Google PG image. Sige kani try nato ni. Kanina lang or this one. Sige. Okay, save image as and then desktop. Alright. So by the way, before I forgot, di ba na times manggod na we don't nakalimot ko. Good thing that you asked that question. Na manggod times na dili siya by let's say 500 by 700 pixels. Let's say magdepende manggod sa imong screen, di ba? Natay different size sa screen. Natay screen na 1024 by 768, 1024 by 800. Depende sa ato ang screen resolution. So ang way ana para para flexible imuhang program na whatever size imong screen is mo iyahang sa tawag ana mo behave siya has to kumbaga mo follow siya, no? So just call the set extended state. So kaning set extended state nani siya what they call this one, both sani maximize horizontal, maximize vertical. So kanang maximize horizontal o maximize vertical, horizontal is paana, no? So ang iyang i-occupy na screen is padulong paana. Okay? Kung maximize vertical paana naman. So paana, no, vertical. Ayan. So horizontal paana, vertical paana. But if you want na both ang iyang screen is ana lang, maximize both. So para ang iyang magdepend siya sa ang screen size. So kumbaga i-maximize niya ang unsa kadako imong screen size sa imong program. Okay? Yan. So but dili nato na buhaton. Puho na lang na. So balik ta diri sa color sa ano, let me try. If I can do it, let's say BG na lang. Okay. So I'll need to add this one to my copy PG. Okay, bg.jpg. So I'll need to instantiate JLabel here, and I can have here let's say new image icon, and then I'll put here pg.jpg, something like that. So it means that I'm going to set image to my label, and I'll add here my frame that add LBL image. So, what happened? Image LBL image. Wala, di niya makita. Wait ha. Unsay ano ani? Full wait. Di sana ko na i-discuss ha, mga flow, mga layout managers. My frame that add LBL image. Wait, ako sana yung ipagawa si label. So there, it's should be sige. So bg.jpg. bg.jpg. Dapat ma-display na ko ni siya. Why it's not working? Let me try displaying it to a button muna. Okay, is that the button? Yes. Okay, so alright, so wala na, delete na display ang jbg.jpg. So it means wala niya nakita ni. Wait ha, asa di dapat ako ni add. Dere. Mali siguro akong pagka-plaster. I'll need to get the entire URL of the image. Ayan, para makita na ako. Para mo-work to siya. Ayan. That's it. So, namali lang ang pag-drag and drop na ko ato. So, yeah, it's the easiest way would be like this. So, I will now erase this one and change this to LBL. So, for now, that's the easiest way. Yan. So, you have now the background color of your Jframe. Okay? Mali lang to siya ang pagka-butang. Dili na ako siya nabutang sa SRC. It's supposed to be outside of the source. Wala niya nakita ning image. Okay? Question?
Hindi mo na sa tanan layout manager, sir, na.
Actually, wala na ko yung layout manager tree. Di-try lang na ako og anong layout kung makita. Kasi nag-troubleshoot ko first whether gibutang sana ko siya sa label kasi why it's not working. It's supposed to work kasi. Then nagtry ko, troubleshoot ko, mo tong nagbutang ko layout, and then after which wala man gihapon siya, gitry na kog button, then para makita nako, so mo tong nagtry kog label first, and then nakita nako ang label, but it seems like wala niya na-recognize ang image, and then nagtry kog button, wala po niya na-recognize ang image. So mo to akong last troubleshoot would be kani. So it means to say pag troubleshoot nako kay wala jud ay siya nakita ang image, therefore last is kadto. Diri day ang problem. So it's one of the things na inyuhang buhaton pohon. So yan. So igawas sa gawas dapat ni siya. So well, that's something that I haven't parang anticipated. Okay? Or I did not anticipate. I didn't see that one coming na diri din ako siya na drag sa source rather than dapat sa ako ang package. All right. So any question so far?
Yan, sir.
Okay.
Ano, sir, thank
So
you.
again, this one, guys, if you don't want to put that in a let's say in a constructor, pwede pa na nimo ibutang sa lain ano, public void set UI. Kay example ana. Like imong constructor dire kay plain lang siya, wala kay gibutang. So when you call this to here, either you do it like that GUI or that set UI, ayan, and then it's still doing working the same. So either you use this one or use this one, and then you do GUI dot set UI. So this time it's in the method now instead of na siya sa constructor. So sa method nimo siya gibutang. So at least this is what I have said earlier na you can design your JFrame or you can design a JFrame or set your JFrame into your own method rather than in the constructor only, no? Actually, pwede ka diri mag-develop og UI sa imuhang main. But of course, dili na siya, it's not good kasi main man gud ni, no? It's supposed to be, dili na ka mag-call lang. Remember, we don't put anything, we don't, as much as possible, dili ta butang og heavy codes diri sa atuang main. Okay? So, I just hope you get that. So, ayan, pwede ninyo siya inanaon. So it's up to you whether sa constructor nyo ibutang or dire. Pero na mga pros and cons. Basta you know now that pwede siya sa constructor, pwede pod mag-develop ka og dire. Or mag-develop ka og like this one. Pwede ganit ni siya dire. Then yan, it's the same. So like tanan nimong instantiations sa dire, sample UI and then saka nimo siya i-set UI. Any will do. Okay, as long as you understand the idea of methods. Okay, the other one, other way to ayan, so that's something na that's the power of encapsulation, no? As JFrame is an encapsulated class. And then if you let's try to create another UI and then this one with the principle number 2 inheritance. So the capability of inheritance. So some, let's say, GUI na lang. GUI or GUI. All right. So let's just copy this one right here. And let's have it here. I know. So GUI. All right. So i-copy lang ako na ha. And then let's say we have here Jframe. So yeah. So let's have here test GUI. All right, and then finish. So this time, if you're going to call this GUI something, GUI dot set UI ba yun? Wala. Okay, kasi wala tayong set UI diri. So it's still the same. Ayan. Gana kaya po na siya. Okay. But what we're going to do now is let's implement the principle number 2. So let's see if it's present pa rin si OOP principle. So you can do that by doing extends. Yan. So G extends JFrame. So this is now what I told you about that everything that we do in Java, particularly now, will be evolving in the principles of OOP, no? So yan nanatay ganina na encapsulation man encapsulate kani encapsulate tanan components sa swing are encapsulated class, no? So naa siya mga constructors, naa siya method overloading, polymorphism, and of course naa siya inheritance. So with this, instead kung mag-inheritance ka, you don't have to do it like mag-declare na ka o bag-o na. So you don't have to do this one anymore. So tanggalon na nimo ni siyang mga something like di na nimo siya i-instantiate. All you need to do is inani na lang set title. Let's say this one is this is a frame or Jframe through inheritance. Ayan. So with this one, all you just need to do is remove all the objects that says Jframe or my frame because we're not creating an object of frame here. So yeah, yan. So these things right here are all components of your Jframe. We took advantage of what Jframe has. So set title, set size, add. So these are all components or behavior of JFrame because we just extended JFrame, meaning this one is this child class and this one is the super or the parent class. So subclass, super class. So whatever in the JFrame can be used by ours or by us. Okay? So it's similar and it's the same. And yeah, that's it. So that's second way to create UI in Java using inheritance. Okay, so you can even do like this, no? Let's say set, you want it na set instead of let's say set UI or let's say set visible or something like that. And you can even override your set visible, and if you want na this one will be changed to something or new, set, let's say set show. So instead of set visible, you can call it set show, set show. So then true. So it's now you're taking advantage of an existing capability of a JFrame, which means so siya na karon is set, instead of set visible nahimo na siyang set show. So it's still the same. So ayan, no? And you can even do overloading. So that's the capability of now polymorphism, no? So let's say set show, and then you have here string title, uh, and then let's have here. So pwede na nawalay super guys ha. Pwede na nawalay super. It's up to you kung butangan mo super or not. So let's say set title. So you can call set title. It means to say that when I call, I'll have here, I don't want to set the title of my ano. So I just call set show. Then I can have here, let's say pet manage, pet system na lang kay kapoy type. And then this will give me pet system. Yan. Okay? So that's overloaded constructor. So I can even create another overloaded constructor. So set show, then I'll have here, let's say, what else do we have here? I'll have here set, ano, int with int height, sorry, then boolean b. So meaning to say, I am going to call the set size. So set size, where are you? Ayun. So width and height. Okay, mali akong spelling sa height. Okay. All right, then set title. What happened to you? Yun. Okay, so meaning to say, I can uncomment now the set size and I can replace it with, let's say, 700 by 800 or whatsoever. So instead, inana na siya. So set size. Ayan. So I can even overload more of which, no? So yan, pwede na ko na siya buhat, no? Set show. So now, pwede na ko walaan ni, like, I don't have it here, I don't have it here, I don't have it here. And then if I'm going to go here, test UI, let's say I'm going to extend, or let's say di na ako kailan mag-extends, but I'm going to create GUI. So GUI, let's see, GUI is equal to new GUI. So GUI dot set show. So I have the set show here. Makaset kong title, pet, let's say pet, and then the width is 500, then 3, let's say 400, and then let's say this will be true. So if you can notice, I don't have anything here. So meaning to say, if I don't call the set UI, regardless of I have instantiated it here, this will do nothing. All right. So if ever na, ako saning i-stop. If ever na I'll call this set show, so I have created GUI. So GUI now is a frame, no? Is a parent, is a child of Jframe. So this one right here, if I'm going to call it in my class, I have now the GUI. So it's like you're innovating something. No, aside, instead na individual ang set nimo, set title, set visible, and set size, ang gibuhat nako is I just put it in a one whole setter na makaset na siyang title, width and height, and at the same time ma-display na ko ang UI. So isn't it amazing? Isn't it surprising? So that's the power of inheritance.
Hindi, nakaka-set
All
ulit
right,
yan, sir.
question. Do you have questions? Hello? Do you guys have questions? Are you guys excited to do it in our lab? Especially to those who haven't started yet? Hello?
Yes, sir. Game.
Sige. So we'll get back to by 10:15 break sa ta, and then we'll discuss few other components of GUI. So instead, maghimo tag simple calculator. So in the next session, maghimo ta og mga events and other components of JFrame. All right. So for now, I want you to have break, like eating your breakfast or whatsoever. So please take your break, and that's it muna for now. And we'll continue after 15 minutes. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. See you later.